out here in my little vintage camper on the paper trail, and I'm very excited to have a special guest with us today, and that is Tim Collins. And Tim is going to tell us what a rep group is, because I'm at the Collins Group rep event. So can you just fill us in on that?
Sure can. We are manufacturers sales representatives, so we represent the manufacturers like Sizzix. We represent their products to the independent retail stores. Okay, so we show them all the new products, bring everything to them if they can't come to the shows, demo the products, help them set up classes, help them bring in artists like you and special guest teachers and anything we can do to help them with their business. But our primary goal and our primary role is to show them the product, take orders for them, make sure they're supplied on everything they need to sell any of our manufacturers' products.
Great.
We turn those orders into the manufacturer then ships the product to the store.
Okay. So you're helping them.
That's what we do.
So then your sales reps go around during the year.
Yes, we cover 29 states and Eastern Canada. We have 10 sales reps in that territory. They all have their own territory, their own states they work in, so they're all out in their territory and visit their stores in that area.
It's a nice support system.
It is,
Yeah.
yes.
Everybody needs help.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to tell everybody, we were at Quilt Market a couple of years ago, and you were telling me about a class you were taking.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
Surely. We, because of Sizzix, they asked us to get into the quilt market as reps. It was a new market to us. And it was a market that I didn't understand. So I decided, in order to understand it, no better way than to start from scratch. So I signed up my wife and myself, since she has always sewn. She was never a quilter, but has always sewn. So we signed up to do a beginning quilters class. And they taught a lot of basics, but it turned out to be a full queen size quilt that we made into a king size quilt.
Holy cow.
And Elaine did a beautiful job. It came out extremely well. I helped with the cutting because I wanted to understand how Sizzix dies worked in cutting fabric, and how rotary cutters worked as well, so we knew what we were up against. And I did a little of the sewing too, but not much. Elaine did most of it, and it came out beautifully.
Good.
So
And
it was
you
a
did
lot. It was a lot of
finish,
fun.
Is it being used?
We
That's a good feeling.
finished the top. We actually need to get it to a long arm quilter to actually finish the quilting.
King size.
Yeah, it's a little big for us to do the quilting ourselves. And in fact, the store owner recommended against us trying with one that large. So that is actually on our list as soon as we get back from this show.
Good.
So yeah, so by summertime we hope to have it ready to go. It's beautiful.
You should
Just
bring
beautiful.
it to the show.
I should.
Show and
I will
tell.
take some pictures and send.
Make everyone come up
Yeah,
inspired.
yeah. It was very nice.
That's cool. Well, I think, because one of my other questions was, are you a creator? So do you feel... I'm just wondering how you got in the business. Like, did you...
Well, I was in the retail business for most of my life, working for mostly medium-sized chain companies in specialty retailing. Always been in specialty retailing and some different kinds of retailing. My early career was with Hickory Farms, if you remember when Hickory Farms had stores.
I love that.
And started my career with them, and then a lot of gift business. Worked for a couple of different gift companies, and got into the buying side of the business. And then when I left my last corporate job in 1999, I decided that I really didn't want another corporate job. So they asked me to stay on and consult with them for a while, and I did. And before I knew it, for the next 10 years, I had a consulting business working with manufacturers in the gift business and stationery business, and that morphed into the scrapbooking business. And I would help the manufacturers bring their products to market, set up their systems, hire their sales reps, and manage their sales reps. And so then about 7.5 years ago, a guy by the name of Fred Hill, who owned a large sales group in this industry, came to me. He was ready to retire, had been in the business 35 years.
Wow.
So, make a long story short, I bought his rep group, and then Sue Gilman, who owns Sue Gilman and Company up in the Northeast here, came to me and said, hey, let's talk. So we decided to kind of join forces. I bought her company, put the two together to make the Collins Group. Sue stayed with me for about 4 years.
Yeah.
After committing to one, she stayed
Okay.
a lot longer, and I was appreciative of that. And so that's how I got into the rep side of the business. I consider that I've been in the scrapbook business since the early 90s, back when I was working with some gift stores, and we brought scrapbooking in kind of as a sideline.
Yeah.
And then in my consulting business, I started working with Autumn Leaves. Actually, the last few years of my consulting business, they were my only client, so I was dedicated to the scrapbook industry. So am I a creative person? I guess in my own way, but no, I'm certainly not an artist.
Well, creating ways to sell is creative.
Is creative.
It's good, and we need you.
And I have taught scrapbook classes before. Or in the early days at Autumn Leaves, I worked with Jennifer McGuire and Renee Camacho, if you remember. Renee, she's no longer in the industry, I don't believe, but they would actually design classes for me, and I would go teach them. I'm a pretty good talker, so I could stand up in front of a group, and if they designed it for me, tell them what to do and how to do it, and actually really enjoyed doing that a lot. But so that's the extent of my creativity. Yeah,
okay.
right.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
We all have our gifts.
We all have our gifts. Yes, we do.
Okay. All right. Well, the last question is, well, two questions. One question, two parts.
Okay.
What do you feel is... What is the question?
What do you feel? Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
What do you feel is missing from the creative community, and
Okay.
what would you do to change it?
Yeah.
Okay. My focus with the creative community is really on providing products and services to people. So if I can change the question a little bit to that focus, my concern for the creative community, and particularly paper crafting, because that's our focus. My concern with paper crafting is that I believe the internet has diluted the focus a bit. It makes it easy to get information, but it's really damaging to the independent stores. The independent stores are struggling in this industry, and I think that our crafters are going to miss that. While you can do some things online, some things really well online, there's nothing like hands-on experience with paper crafting and mixed media projects, and that in order to have that, we really need the independent retailers. And as our consumers can buy more product online, even take classes online, it's difficult on the independent retailers. So our focus now as a rep group is on how can we help the independent retailers continue to grow their business, because I think it's very important for our crafting community to have those resources, and they've gone away in many areas, and that's a concern.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think you said it too, our crafting community.
Yes.
You don't have a community. I mean, it's online, but it's so out there. When you're doing hands-on things, and it's like an old quilting bee. You know,
Yes.
you want to have the
Yes,
community and the
absolutely.
people that get what you do. And
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
Complete
and
development.
the stores can still help create that community, and it's interesting in talking with the stores. The idea of crops in their stores that used to be so popular and so forth seems to be coming back a little bit, and I hope we see that, because it used to be so much fun. I would go to a store on a Friday night, and they would have 40, 50 women there that are all cropping and enjoying each other's company as well as creating their crafts. And we've lost that community a little bit, and I hope it comes back. you know, oftentimes when with something like that, the pendulum swings a little too far
Right.
the wrong
And it
way,
just comes back.
and then it comes back. And I feel like we're seeing that a little bit, and that's one of the reasons we do our trade
Right.
shows for the retailers. We only allow retailers to come, and it's so they can learn new techniques and be refreshed creatively,
Right.
and then they can go back and teach those to their consumers.
Right.
So if the consumers aren't taking advantage of that, I think we're making a big mistake, and we just don't want to lose that community.
I agree.
So,
Well, good. I learned a lot.
okay, great.
Every day I learn a lot.
Good.
Well, thank you for being with us,
You're
Tim.
very welcome. Thanks
and
for inviting me.
coming on the paper trail.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Amy, for filming.